9, 10.
Hello, everyone. We're back today. This one is called Parable of the Unforgiving Servant. Now, is it possible to forgive or forget? Think about a time you forgave someone or a time someone forgave you. Now, if you're there, maybe you have enough space, we'd like you to stand up and we can do a little exercise, okay? You stand up and I'm going to read aloud a few statements, one at a time. If you agree with the statement, take a step forward and then go back to the step afterwards. If you disagree, take a step back. If you have no opinion, you stand still and take a larger step or a smaller step depending on how strongly you agree or disagree, okay? Here we go. I love pizza. I like to play video games. I know Elizabeth and Taylor would be a big step on that one. I am athletic. I am friends with my siblings. I am an introvert. I don't care when someone is mean to me. I get upset easily. I hold grudges for a long time. I don't think it's possible to forgive and forget. I forgive people, but don't want to forget ever. Okay, now point of the question, is it possible to forgive and forget? Now I'm going to read this parable from Matthew 18:21 through 35, the Common English Bible. When Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Should I forgive them many as 7 times?" Jesus said, "Not just 7 times, but rather as many as 77 times. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with, accounts with his servants. When he began to settle accounts, they brought him to a servant who owed him 10,000 bags of gold. Because the servant didn't have enough to pay it back, the pastor ordered that he should be sold, along with his wife and children and everything he had, and that the proceeds should be used as payment. But the servant fell down, kneeled before him, and said, 'Please be patient with me, and I'll pay you back.' The master had compassion on that servant, released him, and forgave the loan. When that servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 coins. He grabbed him around the throat and said, 'Pay me back what you owe me.' Then his fellow fell down and begged him, 'Be patient with me and I'll pay you back.' But he refused. Instead, he threw him into a prison until he paid back his debt. When his fellow servants saw what happened, they were deeply offended. They came and told their master all that happened. His master called the first servant and said, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you appealed to me. Shouldn't you also have mercy on your fellow servant, just as you had mercy on you, as I had mercy on you?' His master was furious and handed him over to the guard responsible for punishing prisoners until he had paid the whole debt. My heavenly Father will also do the same to you if you don't forgive your brother or sister from your heart." Okay. As the passage is being read, okay, you guys already read that one. In your own words, how would you summarize the message in this parable? Who do you think Peter used why would you think Peter used the number 7? Rabbis of the day thought that it was unnecessary to forgive someone more than 3 times. Peter's trying to be generous. Why did Jesus respond with 77 times? And to whom did you most relate this story to? And why? Let's take a moment to look over the Bible lesson on what we just heard. What was it Jesus trying to help Peter and the rest of the disciples understand with this parable? What was the parts of the story that make sense to you and cause your struggle? What does the parable illustrate God's thought about forgiveness? Why is it important to forgive others? What does it mean to forgive someone? Why is forgiveness important, and what does forgiveness accomplish in a relationship? How does one go about forgiving? Does it matter who forgives first, the person offering the forgiveness or the person asking for the forgiveness? Can you forgive someone and yet choose not to engage in a relationship with her or him? What happens when you forgive someone but still don't believe you can trust that person? What harm comes from holding a grudge? Who ends up being hurt from holding the grudge? At some point in our lives, we have either received forgiveness or offered forgiveness to someone else. Hopefully, this story that you have a better ending than the parable we heard today, but it's also possible that it's very similar. Okay. First step to forgiveness is praying for that person and be blessed. It will help you release any grudge you might be holding toward the person you wronged. We all have someone in our lives that we have wronged or has wronged us, right? As we recall that experience, you can write a short letter to that person, either asking for that person's forgiveness or offering forgiveness to the person. And then when you finish, maybe you'd like to mail it off to them. And then it will bring a healing relationship with that person, emphasizing that even if they do not mail that letter, simply writing it also helps the healing process. Okay, in reflection, we are going to close with a song. And as we hear this song, let's say a prayer. Asking, thanking God for his amazing love to all of us. Okay, and thank you.
Joy to honor you. my king. You are my king. You are my amazing love. How can it be? You're my king without me. Amazing love, I know is true. It's my joy to honor you. Yeah. Amazing love, how can it be? That you're my king without me. Amazing love, I know is true. Now it's my joy to honor you. And all I honor you. You are my king. You are my are my king. You are my Jesus. You are my Jesus. You are my are my Jesus, you are mine.
That was a good shot. That was a good song. I never heard that one before. Hello.